Good morning. Oh, this has been a rich month. Watching the turbulence of love. I had a woman come to me the other day. She's a colleague that I've sat with before who she sat down and she said, I have to come to you right now because I know that you only speak absolute truth. And so I need you to tell me that it's okay, that I don't take care of this person anymore, that it's okay for me to take care of myself. And so I started laughing because that's not really the absolute truth. That's something that we can say is true. It's like, yes, take care of yourself. It's important. And take care of other people. That's important. And sometimes we say no, and that can be important, but that's not the absolute truth. And so I stopped her and we did that journey to look at what was really going on within her, what was really present, inviting her to that ground of being. Do you know what I mean when I say that? To coming down to that presence of life that's untainted and unfiltered and doesn't have that layer of personality. And she started talking about how she grew up, it's her filter. She grew up thinking she just had to take care of everything and everybody. Some of you might recognize that way of being, it becomes our identity. It's both our strength on the leading side and on the survival side. It is that runs us, and we don't know how to put down when it's appropriate. So she's talking about this pattern I always have to take care of. And then she started touching into the guilt and what happens if I put this down. And I kept just inviting her to stop and be present with what was present in her in this moment. Not listening to the story, not listening to the thoughts, not even following the heart's impulsion, but really just getting present with herself. And she said, this. It's okay for me to be, and I'm not really responsible for handling everybody's life. Now, that would have been a beautiful statement if right after that didn't follow an incredibly harsh judgment about this person. This justification of the mind, you might say, of why she didn't have to take care of this person because their problem was their problem, and because they didn't take care of their lives, she wasn't responsible for that. So I stopped her again to meet that. And she quickly said, oh, well, that's just where I go when I get upset or feel guilty, or I just go to this anger. Now, I won't continue the story for you, but you might get that idea of the layers that live within us, in our stories, in our ideas, our beliefs, our identities, and all the feelings merged in them. You know of those in you? The topic today, as Raina said, is the turbulence of love. This morning's theme is that love, and this month's theme is this love. And while Laura Lee was singing, I thought about that. I think it's a Hafiz verse that says, the topic tonight is love. Indeed, the topic is always love. But I don't want to talk about and call forth that loving nature that we all have within us. Right? Yeah. We recognize that underneath all the stories. I read the little blurb that sent out, I think it was from Home Office, and they talked about love and law. Does everybody here know about love and law? You hear Ernest Holmes talk about it's all love, it's all law. And I so often hear this described as there's the great law of life that creates everything, and it works through and expresses through our love. Is that familiar to you? But that's not what Ernest Holmes was saying about love and law. What he was saying when he talked about it's all love, it's all law, is that's his description of the infinite. The all-abiding source, the creative power, the one intelligence that makes all things. there is that nature that is simply love. Not love from the human feeling, but as Thomas Troward said, love that is our highest understanding of life being only life. That's the divine. That's spirit. So often, I think I did this last month, I don't remember what our topic was, talked about sitting, the willingness to sit with our emotions. Because when we sit with our emotions, we recognize that they dissipate if we don't hold on to them as a story. If you don't know this experience, check it out. Allow yourself to just feel what you're feeling without going into the story of who or what is happening. Just feel the feeling as an inner experience, and it will pass. It's why we talk about meditation, and the whole impulsion of meditation is to sit and notice that our thoughts come and go. You notice that. Our feelings come and go. In fact, sensations come and go. And what our human mind does is it grabs onto them and makes a story. This woman was describing her story. This is who I am. This is what I've learned to be. This is what happens if I don't do it. All that is in her human mind, and it's tied up with human feelings. Are you following me? Underneath that, underneath all of our human knowing and expression is a ground of being that is not turbulent, that is never rattled, that is not having a problem. Because the turbulence lives in us, not in the situation. The turbulence always lives in us and not in the situation, not in the other person. Even when what we're experiencing might actually be hard, might be challenging, might be painful. We're not saying it doesn't matter what's happening out there. I don't need to do anything. What we're being invited to in this teaching is to listen under our agitated, turbulent mind and feelings. Yeah. So that we are an open space through which that love and law of the divine can express through us. And that open space lives in each and every one of us. How do I know that? Because it's what puts us here. It's what expresses as us, as it expresses as the oak tree and the sunshine and the earth underneath our feet. It's just here. So I'll describe it this way. If right now you bring yourself to an awareness of an experience you're having, might be a judgment of what I'm saying, might be your experience of your bottom on the seat of your chair, might be your feet on the floor, might be a story, a hurt or a challenge that's going on within you. And notice whether that awareness of this experience is having a problem. Were you able to follow that? Notice if that aspect that is aware is having the problem or the experience. This is really the core of what spiritual teaching is. This is the core of what meditation is about. It's really the core of what our prayer is about, is coming home to absolute truth. It's why I chuckled when this woman said, I'm coming to you for absolute truth, and this is what you're going to tell me. And I noticed when I brought her in that what she declared was really what she already wanted. She wanted permission to stop taking care of this person. Now that's okay. It's not mine to tell you. It's really hard sometimes. And I know this personally. It's really hard sometimes to put down our story, because don't we know what other people should be doing? Don't we?
Yes.
I mean, we say we have no dogma. We have so many rules about how people should be. if you were a good metaphysician, a good religious scientist, this is what you need to do. And that's not okay. We have these rules, but we do not know what this journey out here is about. The only thing that we can really shift, which is all that Ernest Holmes, our founder, ever invited us to shift, is our own consciousness about this. True? The only thing we are ever called to move, change. In fact, you might say the only thing we can change is what we're standing in, what we're holding on to. I got to play with this on the way up to Mendocino. I have this ancient Toyota with a stick shift, and I am holding on to it for dear life. I love the stick shift. And when I drive and turn onto 128, this is heaven.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, this is my road. I get to really play now. And so I turn on to 128, and I get quickly, or as fast as my old Toyota will get up into the speed limit, maybe, but it's not that I'm speeding, it's just that I'm not having to slow down the way frequently people slow down on the windy roads. And so I noticed that just as I turn on 28 and start moving down the road, this truck, and most cars on the road are newer than mine, this truck pulls in to 128, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll see. If he's going faster than me, I have to let him pass. And I'm a courteous driver. It didn't take long as I watched him get closer to me. This is competitive self kicks in. I don't know if you have it. I am a safe driver, but I noticed that this no, he's not catching up with me. He's not going to pass me on 128. And I could feel it. It had its grip on me. Do you recognize those things in you that have their grip on you? This is just the way it is. That person really is bad. The politicians really need to change. They're the problem. My partner needs to hear me and change their behavior. We all have this. So I start wrestling with this competitive self because I have recognized it as not necessarily useful. It's certainly not effortless, relaxing, sweet repose of the divine. So I noticed myself trying to tell myself to know, oh, you don't need to be competitive. It's okay. If he comes up behind you, you'll let him pass. It's not a big, I'm talking myself down from this drive to speed up and stay ahead of him. And then all of a sudden, I just saw myself doing this. I saw myself and I just started laughing. Just let go into that awareness of, oh my God, here's my crazy self. So instead of talking about being with the emotions, being with the situation, fighting and just resting in, I'm today wanting to invite you to notice the turbulence, to notice the opinions and the judgments and the feelings that you defined life by. We define infinite in our minds. We have stories. We define good and bad in our heads, do we not? I have a firm idea of what's good and bad. Like I said, we're not calling this all good and nice out here. We're not saying don't say anything, don't do anything. We're just being aware. And being aware, there's more openness in us to be what's really true. So when I started laughing at this competitive side and this part of me that's trying to dial it back, those sides going on, when I started laughing, I just rested in being present with myself. My awareness expanded into everything that was around me. And I noticed my body resting and just relaxing. You with me? That doesn't mean we don't do anything. It means we're not pushing or we're not telling the infinite intelligence how it has to be because we want to. We want to tell God, this is not okay, fix this. We want that intervention. We want to prove our points, do we not? And so we're really being invited to just stop and to notice. Because that we can call the watcher, the witness, it really is just awareness. It is that one consciousness that we live within. Kind of shows up, feels like it's living in us, but we live within that one consciousness, do we not? We used to say in the movement, God is not in you like a raisin is in a bun. Because we think of it like that. Oh, my God self, this is my God truth. We do that in our minds, think that way because that's just how the human mind does. You know, it's a finite experience and we're opening to that's beyond. I don't put names on it. When I think it was Reverend Gale said, and some people call it it works for me. I loved it when I read Ernest Holmes. Call it the thing itself, because that sets me free. I have no God. I didn't grow up with God. And I'm okay with the word, but when I hear people talk about it, it's a fixed idea in your mind, isn't it? If you grew up with God, it's a fixed idea. It's this presence, this beingness. It may be a form that's supposed to take care of you and want you to be happy. And we hold on to those ideas. I'm asking you to consider relaxing back and noticing. You might chuckle. You might notice what characters we are. We call ourselves this personality, and really it's a wiring, and it's something that is layered over in our culture. But underneath all of that, as we pull off the layers, there's just pure being. And I promise you, things won't feel less nice if you allow yourself to melt into the one. I promise you that. There's a freedom, there's an openness, there's a peace beyond human understanding. And you still may take an action, you still may say something, but you're not doing it from your turbulence. You're not doing it from your opinion. You're not doing it from your limited view. This morning I moved over in the seat. I never sit on this side. I love changing perspective. Our teaching is all about changing perspective, seeing life from a bigger perspective, because life is unfolding from a bigger perspective, bigger than we can imagine. Our little part in life, and our little point in our time span is so infinitesimal in the infinite. And the infinite, that one presence put us here, and it knows how to be us. I had an experience the other day. I went out to dinner with some friends of mine. There's one man who is part of a spiritual non-dual group with me, and we really find resonance in the oneness, which is kind of what this teaching is about, the oneness. And these two women who are one outwardly emotive and one quietly feeling, good people. These are good people. And the man starts talking about, well, you know, the only challenge in my life, in my practice, is my own inner critic. Some of you knows that voice in, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm messing up, I don't belong. He starts saying this, and one of the women, the one that's outwardly expressive, goes, you know, we all love you. We all love you. And then there was this, oh yeah, you're loved, you're so loved. And it was this little love fest. And then the quiet one said, you know, I don't usually speak up, but I have that same insecurity about myself, and that same round of, oh, we all love you, we all love you, we all love you. And then my emotive friend, who can be emotive to the nth degree, she says, well, I know I sometimes just feel like I'm being a bother. Oh no, we all love you. We all love you. And I just sat there and I loved all these people. I really love these people. This is a very special, we call ourselves the love bubble. I love these people. I was sitting there just listening and being part of the love. I went home that night and a thought went through my head. Wow, everybody got that little love fest but me. Everybody got the, oh, we all love you thing.
We all love you.
I don't want to be burdened by that, but thank you. And as soon as I had that thought, I mean, that's so my story. I was the most unwanted of all my mother's 6 kids, and she let me know that every day.
Wow.
You are the biggest problem of my life. That's the story. And so I could feel the feeling. You might recognize that feeling of being the unloved, the left out. Some of you may have that story in you. Something's wrong with me. Nobody loves me story. It's a real feeling. But the blessing in that moment was when I started getting tugged into that story, into that well of feelings, is a thought that popped up that said, wait a minute, you weren't having a problem. You weren't having a problem at the restaurant. You weren't needing to be included in a love fest. I have my inner critic. I have a story about being left out, but I was not sitting in it, listening to it, living from it in that moment. And when I had that realization, it was like, oh, that's just a thought. It's a big thought, got history with it. I used to tell my siblings, I have proof. I mean, if you were to ask my siblings, who's the most unwanted, everybody knows who she is. But that's not a problem unless I'm believing in that, unless I'm listening from that, unless I'm falling into that. That doesn't mean I don't have the feelings and I don't stop and allow myself to feel. It doesn't mean that the stuff's not there, that I might work with this story. But I am so grateful to know, and I know there is that in you that knows, whether you know it does or not. There is that in us that knows that we are more than those stories. The turbulence lives in us. So we're just dialing back, stepping back, getting that bigger perspective of what's happening here. My mother's been gone for a long time. In fact, my mother's inability to love her kids and embrace her kids, and you know this, had nothing to do with us at all. Our precious little beingness coming into the world was never unwanted, was never less than, because life itself has put us here and it has brought us to this moment, unbroken. So we can work with and improve the sense of love. And we certainly have some improvement we can make. I know that in myself. I could stop competing so much on the road when somebody comes up behind me. We can learn to be, and I know that we come to the center and so often we feel filled up with love, both maybe from the message or the prayer or from just being in this loving community. And that's beautiful. And we go forth and we want to just be more loving. Yes, go be more loving. But in the meantime, know that no matter what, because we're not fixing judgment. The mind just judges, it does. We're not getting rid of feelings. We're not needing to fix ourselves. We're recognizing the absolute truth of being. And that absolute truth of being is right where you are, I am, we are. There's a presence that knows only this: life, love. It knows how to be us because it created us and is living in us right now. And so we do our practices to just open the doorway of consciousness to that awareness, that consciousness itself. Ernest Holmes talks about talking ourselves back to center, speaking truth to condition, because it's all a condition out here. It is. It's passing. When Buddha talked about not holding on to, not being attached, he wasn't saying don't have experiences, just don't hold it on because it's all passing. And Ernest Holmes says, most of all, align with the oneness beyond human understanding. We've all heard that. I think we've all heard this. Most of us have heard that line, be of in the world, but not of the world. And I love that. It's easy for me. I don't know why to step back into a more transcendent, a more aware place. I don't know why that is in me. But I heard a new line the other day that made it felt more accessible and more truthful. It said, be in the world, but not at the mercy of the world. That's a thought, that's a feeling, that's a story, that's a partner out here, a mother, a child, or a global condition. It's like, go work for a better world. Go work for a better marriage. Go work for a better whatever in your life. But we don't have to live at the mercy of the stories. Let's pray right now. As we simply stop in this moment to recognize that absolute nature of creation right here. Life, God, the divine, the thing itself, whatever this is, it is the source of all. And it is right here in its fullness. Not missing, not lacking, no one, nothing ever outside of this one. And so I stop. I surrender in to pure awareness right now. This isness, this moment right now. This one source creating, recreating anew right now. This one source of life itself, fully present, nothing missing right now. The very fulfillment of the heart, the mind, the very being, right here, right now. Nothing need be added unto, gotten through, gotten to be more of that which is life. That freedom, that peace, that joy, that love. And so I know it, recognize it right now. I can feel that presence breathing my every breath. It is all that I am everywhere I am. There is no me in life. There is simply life being me. And I know it as the truth of each one here. Just as we are and just as we are not, it is the very life of our being. It is present in our bodies, our hearts, our minds. It is present in every experience, condition of our life, and it is holding, providing, supporting, sustaining. It is guiding and directing. For it is that breathes every breath, animates every cell. It is that is the greater knowing within that gives rise and guides us aright. It calls us home in our seeming stumbling to that greater awareness. We are one with the one. And so I know this as our truth right now. I know that presence is fully present here right now. And I know it is unfolding in our personal individuated worlds and is unfolded together. In every moment, in every aspect, in the personal, in the global, it is all that there is. And so I surrender into this sweet embrace of life, in this sweet knowing that presence of life is right where I am, we are as one right now. And so I let go in great gratitude for this call home in conscious awareness. I let go in deep assuredness that this is so. And so I simply let this be. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.